Thank you, Jeffrey. The description of last year's meeting when I spoke from California just goes to show you that I do some of my best work when I'm not here. That's a mantra. I'm really pleased to be with you all tonight, and first I want to let you know that, like it or not, you are my tweet for the night. I took a picture from the side over here. Those of you who dangle in this particular world, I'm the President DSU. President DSU. We'd love to have you to follow us. You won't find anything salacious on there. It's all about Delta State. Everything on there. 2 years ago, I kind of made a re-entry to Delta State after having an accident in the summer. And this was my first event. Last summer I was away. So this summer is a normal summer. And I'm really glad to be here for this event with all of you here. And I appreciate your patience and tolerance. And I have a special message for you tonight. In fact, a series of them. That the news I have for you tonight is 180 degrees from what I told you 2 years ago. And so I want you to listen to a few things I'm going to tell you tonight. But first, because we are family, and I'm going to spread this out a little bit throughout my remarks, there are a couple of people here in the room who are really very special. I can't name everybody here, but there's a guy who's not even a Delta State alum who's here, and he comes religiously every year. And I think he's really checking up on me because he checked up on me when he was my very first boss in Washington. That's former Congressman David Bowen. David, thanks for being here. He took a chance on that from the Delta when he was Congressman representing Cleveland, Delta State. And it was a wonderful experience that I had with him. You know, Delta State is very special, and all of you have told me that. And one of the things I'm going to tell the faculty and staff 2 weeks from tomorrow, when we open school up at convocation, is that we are trying to advance and preserve and, in fact, continue the type of Delta State you remember and that our students still expect. And it's that personal touch. It is that family thing. There are times, perhaps, when we've gotten away from that, but we're getting back to it. And so I want to tell you tonight how we're doing some of that and why we're doing some of that. And I think it has everything to do with the zeal, with the excitement that Matt talked about on campus, with people who really care about one another and about our primary mission. And we have student recruits here tonight who need to hear this. Our academic mission is number one, period. That's it. Classroom instruction and academics are our top priorities, far and away. You might say, well, that sounds kind of corny, or that's kind of regular, and that's normal. But it is, and we're doing a much better job in academics than we ever have before. We have an exciting faculty. We have people doing things on campus that are very exciting. We've put some programs into place because we have to train a lot of students who come to Delta State underprepared. And we put programs into place that are student success oriented. One great example of that is this past year we put into effect a new freshman seminar program that has substance and meat to it, where we actually have a reading requirement and a writing requirement. And these individuals go through a strenuous program, not just the old freshman orientation some of us remember where you snoozed before your next class. This is serious business because the mission is to put these students on an academic path to success, even if they come in with low ACTs. And so we have seen in our first year of the Student Success Program a retention rate between fall and spring of 7%, where we used to fail. That is great news for academics. And across the board, some of the things that I told you 2 years ago, our big challenges, budget and enrollment. Huge ogres out there biting at us. Let me bring you up to date. Tonight I can tell you that this past fall, a year ago, we had the first increase in enrollment in 8 years, and we're projecting another increase this fall. Because I got to tell you, our recruits are going to learn this fall, our new ones. Marketing in the area of students is important, and it's very challenging out there. Mississippi does not have a new big student pool coming out of high school. It's flat. We have a couple of large universities in the state that had great football seasons last year like we did. But because of that, a lot of kids are going to go to those schools. We can't help that. And a lot of kids go to community colleges. We understand these challenges, and they're tough, and we've got to go around them. We've got to be better than that, and we have to distinguish ourselves, and we're trying to do it in every way. With programs like Chip Cooper's aviation program, like our Delta Music Institute, from which Harrison would graduate. Programs on campus that are standing out, like social work. Programs that prepare students for professional schools. We're still that type of school that takes kids like one of our recruits here tonight who's thinking about medical school or dental school, and we give them special attention, and that's important. Second thing I told you about 2 years ago that was a big challenge was budget. We're back on the track to a stable budget. We had to go through $1 million budget cut this past year. It was tough. We had to eliminate some programs. Some of you may have read about those programs. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. Hopefully we can bring all those programs back someday. But we can't be everything to everybody, especially as a regional university. You all know that. We're not a large research university. We're managing scarce resources. The legislature of this state supports higher education now to the tune of 34% of our revenue. 34%. 15 years ago, it was 67. Where's that other money coming from? Tuition and us, who contribute. We just had a record year. Here's another piece of great news. To Keith Fulcher and his foundation staff, and all of our volunteers, all of our contributors, we just set a new record, all-time record, of more than $1.5 million in annual funds this past year. Give yourself a hand. That's a big time for Delta State. The second part of that is that we raised, all told, and got pledges totaling $4.3 million for the second year in a row. We exceeded that. That's big time for a regional university, and we're not done. We have a long way to go. Those are important things. With budget cut, and with a certain amount of money the legislature was able to give us, the second piece of great news is that for the first time in 4 years this summer, we gave every staff member and faculty member a raise. First time in 4 years. 2 or 3 people asked me tonight, have we turned the corner? We're down the boulevard. Great things are happening. And it's because we have great people working on this. We're really excited about where we're going. Let me tell you a couple things about the family. The family. This year, many of you know we lost some of our great family members who are well known. Henry Outlaw, who never missed this meeting. We miss him. We miss him already. Hugh Ellis Walker. He was Mr. Alumni. Dorothy Shawn. I mean, he studied English under her, writing under her. Great, great professors at Delta State. A number of people. Joe Garrison, College of Education, our Dean's number 2. So we suffer those losses. We live through. But let me tell you about the other side of the coin. Jeffrey, that one almost blew my cover here. We have a new program for the very most distinguished people in Delta State's history who have really created something very positive for our university in a long-term phase. We've created the Legends of Delta State. It's a new lifetime order of distinction, the very highest honor one can achieve. And he said it correctly earlier. We have one of those legends this year in the room tonight. We named the basketball court this past fall the Lloyd Clark Basketball Court, and Lloyd's with us tonight. A legend of Delta State. 3 national championships, ladies and gentlemen. We selected 5 legends of Delta State. My cabinet did. The first 5 were impeccable credentials, all across the board. Lloyd being one, Margaret Wade being another. Another basketball coach who won 3 national collegiate basketball championships in the years when all basketball for women were poured into the same division. There wasn't Division 1, 2, and 3 in those days. A third was our great President Kent Wyatt, who's still there at our side, helping us with things on campus. President for 24 years. He is a legend of Delta State, and was inducted last summer. And the fourth, many of you will remember because he was probably special to you in some way, never in the classroom, but always in student affairs, and that was H.L. Mountain, the namesake for the student union. Those 4 people are our first 4 inductees. And I'm going to let you guess who the 5th is. He will be inducted this fall on the 3rd of October when we dedicate the new baseball stadium, which is being funded all with private funds. We still need some more, by the way. You'll see them. There will be a statue dedicated that day in his honor. He built the Delta State baseball program, so you know who I'm talking about. And on that day, we will present him with the 5th legend of Delta State University. Please give him a hand so I can tell him that you clap for him. We are fortunate to have a great team. We have a new provost, Charles McAdams, who came a year and a half ago, who has provided a great spark for the campus. And academics really is foremost. We're doing things we've never done before, never thought about before. We have a great success program, student success program in the Union, where we help students. We were able to garner private dollars this year, not only through our foundation efforts, but through grants. We went after a $1.6 million grant that we received from the U.S. Department of Education that supports for us a student success program we call Oprah Scholars. This is important for the University of the Delta that has to deal with Pell Grant eligible, first generation Delta kids between the ACT scores of 17 and 21, those who are on the cusp, those who are at risk. We put this new program together this year with the help of somebody else's money. We like that. The Heron Foundation, right over here in Jackson, has in 2 years provided great grants we've gone after. We've become great friends with them. The first one I think you heard about last year, maybe when I called in, is supporting our blues conference and our blues project. It's an international Delta Blues project. We are rightfully the academic center of the blues and are proving that. We had a great conference last year. The one this year will be the 5th and 6th, I believe it is, of October. And this fall, for the first time ever, we will begin offering an academic minor in blues study. Delta State is becoming much more music and cultural centric. Think about it for a minute. Got the BPAC, a great art department, a great music department, the Delta Music Institute that sends kids to LA and to the White House, kids who've never been on airplanes. And then our new partner, the Grammy Museum, going up this fall. We're dedicating it the 14th of November. Be there. It's going to be one of the grandest occasions the Delta, and frankly this state, have ever seen. That is part of the vision going forth for our university. Things that are big, looking around the corner at things that are more than just today. And so I might tell you that that's what I'm asking our faculty and staff to do. I'm asking our athletics to think bigger and better. What are the next sports we ought to have? Why don't we have every scholarship eligible funded? That's the next step. That's the priority we have to have. We're proud of everything we do on the campus. We are champions in the classroom and on the court and on the field. And the blend is ideal. More than 1/2 of our current football team, like Matt said, listen to this, more than 1/2 of the players on about a 120-man roster have a 3.0 grade point average or higher, and 8 of them have a 4.0. You show me a football program. Our coaches across the board not only pay lip service, believe in it, they show it, they demonstrate it. We want our students to graduate. We want them to be students first, and they are. Some of you may have seen in the Final Four week, March Madness, basketball, the National Slam Dunk Contest. The guy who won was a senior at Delta State, LaQuavius Cotton. And I don't know if you saw the final picture, but he has a 4-foot vertical leap. And the picture that was frozen in time was his scissor jump over a guy in the paint for his next to the last slam dunk. That picture alone is a ticket for him into the European Pro Leagues. And he was drafted by the Harlem Globetrotters. Now, you're at Delta State. Odd stuff, maybe? Fitz? Did the Globetrotters draft you? No, I don't think so. Me either. Me either. Coach, none of your guys went with Globetrotters. But I know. Great times. But it does get serious. Our swimming team, swim and dive team, sent 18 kids to the Nationals. That's big. big time. That's like All-American. And 13 of our swimmers and divers were academic All-American, not just conference, not just Mississippi, whole country. A regional university with national distinction. We're showing that, and you need to know about it. Our programs across the board are great. Our athletes are showing great class in everything that they do. We're very proud of them. And it stood out to us, Nancy and I went down to Florida to the Gulf South Conference annual meeting back about 3 weeks ago. Matt was there. Matt, did you go there? You did go there. Yeah, you were. And one of the proudest moments when out of the entire Gulf South Conference, across all sports, the top 10 best athletes, top 10, 2 from Del State. Tyler Sullivan, our quarterback, who, by the way, has 2 more years. He's a junior from Louisville. Outstanding young man. And Taylor Holland, our star first baseman on our softball team. Both were selected for being in the top 10 athletes because they are student athletes. So when somebody asks you at work or in your block, how are things going to Del State, it's not about me, it's not about Jeffrey, it's not about them. This is real stuff. This is what we aspire to be. We're already getting there. We have a long way to go. We have dreams about what we're going to do. When you come back to campus next time, when you come back this fall, the complexion will already be different. Over the next 5 weeks, we're repaving the entire campus. Not just covering it with something, we're remilling everything. Whole new streets, everything, parking lots. We are putting a great gloss on some of the buildings. We're going in and redoing Waller Hawkins for you girls who lived there during those years. Needed nicer bathrooms, we just did that. We are doing a lot of things on campus. One of the main things is, starting at the end of next school year, the end of next May actually, that flying saucer that you remember where you ate food, the dining hall, is going to be completely renovated. We're going to shut it down for a year, move the food service over to the union, and put $6 or $7 million into that place we can't destroy. Because there's somebody here. Albert, where are you? Oh, there you are. Because it's historically preserved. One of Del State great alums, one of my dad's pets, Albert Hilliard, was in my dad's first class in 1957, 58. And he ran our history and state preservation agency for many, many years. And we thank you for that. So we're taking good care of those priceless buildings on our campus. We will do some work on the Coliseum over the next few years. We need to do some work at the Court of Governors for you guys who live there. A lot of great things happening. And we're losing other people to retirement, and that's natural. Many of you know Dr. Wayne Blanchard. Wayne retired June 30th as Vice President of Student Affairs. Coach Butch, Dr. Butch Caston has taken his place as an interim before we select a finalist in that. And Ernest Tabb, Dr. Tabb, will be retiring this fall. So some of our pros are moving on, but we're continuing the trend. And they're not going far. They're staying with us because they care. So there are a lot of great things going on in Delta State. We wanted you to know about some of those. The latest thing that happened last week, which was kind of cute and clever because we weren't sure it was going to happen. We didn't know we were going to be able to pull it off. A year and a half ago, we obtained a low-power FM frequency radio station license. And last Thursday, for the first time, your university radio station was on the air. It's WDSW 88.1 FM. Low power means it's 250 watts. It's in the area. And Nancy and I went over to dinner in Rosedale, and Leo was on the levee the other night, and we heard the radio all the way to Rosedale. That's 22 miles. So it's more than just the campus. It was a little hazy. It was a little foggy. But this is going to give us a different format. It kind of fits in with us being a cultural place, Our students will be able to be on the air. We'll be able to do all sorts of programs. We haven't decided the format yet, but it's up and running. Tricia Walker, who runs our Delta Music Institute, is just ecstatic about this. She thinks it's great. It's in the student union, so where the yearbook offices were in the back of the union. The guy came in to help us last week to put it up, climbed the antenna on top of the union. It was 100 degrees that day, and he put the 2 little antennas up there, and at 12:45, the signal went out. So I want to write that down. You come into Cleveland, WDSW 88.1 LP, meaning low power, and you have to identify yourself every hour on the hour. So we're learning radio technology. That's one of the latest things that's happened. It has been a pleasure for me to be affiliated with Del State the last couple of years. We have a lot of great things going. Jeffrey and his crew do a wonderful job preparing events for homecoming, for pig picking, and as Matt said, we have 7 home games this fall. Please come home to those games. We are truly a team to be reckoned with. Remember, Todd Cooley came to campus. He and his staff turned around a 3-7 year, 7-3 his first year, 9-2 and postseason last year, and a Gulf South Conference championship. We're there. We're on the cusp. So there are a lot of great things going on. We want you to come back to campus. We want you to know it's your place, and we invite you all back. Thanks for coming together tonight. Thanks for being a part of Delta State, and let's go green.